HarperCollins presents Taken as Read, How Labour Won Big and the Tories Crashed the Party. Written and read by Anushka Asthana. Preface. The Exit Poll. Polling Day, Thursday the 4th of July, 2024. My producer, Lily, and I had arrived just after 7 p.m. with a strict instruction that the address of this central London location must remain secret for reasons of security. We were given the number of a man called Duncan, who met us at the door, handed us bright pink wristbands, and then led us down some stairs and along a corridor to an area flanked by security guards. Duncan ushered us into a side room where we took seats and waited, nervous and excited. A few minutes later, ITV's election analyst, Professor Colin Rallings, and our head of special events, Emma Hoskins, came in and sat down opposite us. People would be voting for almost another 3 hours. But Colin, whose analysis has been central to ITV News election coverage for decades, already knew what was unfolding. This will be a Labour landslide, he told us, with the Conservative vote share falling back everywhere, taking the party to its lowest point since 1832. But it was not only Labour who had benefited. All over the country, the Reform UK vote had risen, the Liberal Democrats were on track for their best result ever, and the Greens looked likely to pick up seats. Labour could have a big victory built on a relatively small share of the vote, Colin explained. What about Scotland, we asked. It looks as though the SNP have had a disaster, he said. Emma added that the word apocalyptic had been mooted. And we would have the former Scottish National Party leader and First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, beside us in our news studio all night. But for now, we were in the nerve centre of the exit poll. Just metres from where we were sitting, some of the brightest and best analysts and psephologists in Britain, including Sir John Curtis and our team's own Chris Prosser, were huddled together, poring over responses from 20,000 voters at 133 polling stations across the country, crunching and modelling the raw data on behalf of the 3 major UK broadcasters, ITV, the BBC and Sky News. For the first time, journalists like us had been allowed within touching distance. We were not part of the exit poll process and had no influence over its outcome. But we would be able to go on air with a new confidence and a more thorough understanding of the story the data was telling, and therefore better able to use our powerful data tools to explain what we were witnessing from the get-go. And what a story. If the exit poll was right, Keir Starmer had just reshaped Britain's political landscape. In my 20 years as a political journalist, spanning 6 general elections and 8 prime ministers, I'd never experienced anything quite so thrilling as knowing the likely results of a general election 3 hours before anyone else, including the man set to lose his job at the top of government and the one about to replace him. At the same moment, Conservative Prime Minister Rishi Sunak was at home in his constituency of Richmond, North Yorkshire, surrounded by family, including his parents. The night before, he'd embraced them both emotionally ahead of a speech in Romsey on the Hampshire coast, where he had attended primary school. Elsewhere, Keir Starmer was also with his wife and children. He would soon leave to go to a friend's house to watch the exit poll moment with family and a few advisers. There they ate and drank, but strictly no alcohol. Jill Cuthbertson, then Director of the Leader's Office, now Director of Government Relations in Downing Street, wanted everyone clear-headed and ready for what was to come, not least a speech on the steps of Downing Street in the early hours. Not on my watch, she joked. But that was all to come. At 9 p.m, after the 8:45 data drop had been modelled and briefed out, we dashed out of the building and jumped into a waiting cab to make it back to the studio in time for the opening of that night's election show. The wrong cab, as it turned out. It was Emma and Chris's, meaning they were left wandering the streets and watching the top of the programme on their phones. Perhaps the least
Sample complete. Ready to continue?